Okay, hello everybody. Welcome. For those who do not know me, my name is Halia. I am a golden I-10 card holder and I have been with Archer and Evo for 4 years now. Well, a little over 4 years now. Um, and so today we're going to talk about agent retention, what that is, and how to build a team that will stay with you, grow, and win together as well. Okay, so we're going to go over a bunch of tips and tricks that I've picked up over the years, things that I've learned, things that I've made mistakes on and fixed and had to learn the hard way, all the different things. Okay. If you guys have any questions while we are on this meeting, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer them while we're here. Um, no worries, Shauna, you're good. For those that are here, I would love to know how many of you guys have an agent on your team, or you're just like, where are you guys out in the building process? Do you have any agents on your team? Are you just starting out learning what team building is? Where are you guys at? You have one agent, okay. What about the other people that are in here? None so far. Okay. Tracy, I already know what your number is, so you're fine. For those that don't know, Tracy here is my girlfriend and we run this business together. So I would really hope that I know what her number is because those are our numbers together. All right. So we're kind of in the beginning stages. That's good. I love that actually. This way you guys can be prepared while you're growing into your leadership rather than having to learn the hard way and make mistakes, make these same mistakes like I did. You get to make your own mistakes, new mistakes, which is much better than making the same mistakes, right? So, like I said, we're going to talk about retention, how to keep your team, how to support them, how to help them grow. Oh, we got some Facebook people. 5 now, but over 10 have left. Okay, no worries. So we definitely have some things that we can improve on, and that's what we're here to do, okay? Um, Retention is where the real leadership is going to show up, right? Anybody can go and like bring agents and enroll agents, right? That's easy. Retention is where actual leadership is going to show up. That's where the actual work comes into place, okay? So this training is all about building up people and the people around you and the people in your team, not just building your numbers, okay? So why does retention matter? Well, like I said earlier, recruiting is easy, right? Bringing people on is easy. The leadership is in the retention, okay? And a lot of people, I feel like we talk mostly about how to team build, right? How to get those initial agents enrolled. I don't feel like we talk enough about how to support them properly, right? How to be there, how to mentor people, things like that. So that's really what I want to dive into tonight, is how to do that part and different ideas to give you guys to kind of spice up your teams, get things going and things like that. Okay. So if you're growing a team, that's great, right? That does not mean it's a healthy team. That does not mean all of those people are going to stick. Okay. You can recruit and bring in people all day long, but if they're not sticking, what's the point? Okay. A high turnover is going to slow your guys' momentum. And trust me when I say I have been there, okay? You get all of these enrollments, you're growing your numbers, but then the next month, all of them are gone because they're not staying, right? That is an issue with retention, and that is an issue in leadership that we can easily tweak and fix, okay? Um, Retention is going to help you guys create stability, culture, and duplication. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. Rather than constantly feeling like you're starting over all the time, right? You're going 5 steps forward and then you're taking 2, 3, 4 steps back. So you're really just in the same spot, right? Rather than doing that cycle over and over and over again, we're going to work on different things today to help us build that up and continue building that up. Even if it's a slower progress, we're able to really support and build that to where we can continue growing off of it and not just replacing every single time. Okay. That is going to help us build long-term income. All right. Now, before I show the next slide, I have a question for you guys. And I want you guys to be typing in the chat or in the Facebook chat, wherever you're at. But I want you guys to engage with me with this training. Okay. How many of you guys know why agents go inactive? Give me some ideas, some examples. Why do you think agents go inactive? They don't feel supported or they feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. What else? Nothing else? That's it? That's all we got? They feel like they can't handle it. They lost interest. Okay. And why do they feel like they can't handle it or they lost interest? They don't sell. All right. No support. They don't want to pay. Why don't they want to pay? What would make them not want to pay for their business? Because they don't know how to use their tools. Why don't they know how to use their tools? Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Are you catching my drift here? Commissions take a long time to be paid. Well, we have instant commissions, so debunking that one because their mentor isn't actively helping them or teaching, right? A lot of times, now not every single time, okay? I don't want you guys to think that like if an agent's going inactive every single time it's your fault, right? But a lot of times agents go inactive because they don't feel supported, right? They don't feel like they know what to do. They don't know how to find the answers. They feel overwhelmed. It's too much. They don't know where to start. They don't feel like they have that support, right? And although you might be thinking you give that support, you might not be giving it in the way that that agent is receiving it, right? So this is where a lot of the disconnect is and where a lot of miscommunication is, right? So agents go inactive over time, right? They don't just wake up and be like, okay, I'm done. Okay. They slowly start to drift away because they start to feel confused, they don't feel supported, or they're disconnected, right? And when people don't know what to do next, or they don't know how to start something, or they don't know what to do, right? There's just too many things. They don't feel seen. That is when their momentum, their excitement starts to fade. Okay. And eventually their engagement in the team starts to fade. Their engagement in their own business starts to fade, right? And that's when they go inactive. There's no sense of belonging. There's no culture really. There's lack of connection. There's no clear directions, right? That is when people start to like get kind of all over the place. This is already, and I'm sure you guys can all relate, this is already something that is very overwhelming when you're first starting, right? So if you're being told to do 5 million things at one time and you're having all of these different resources, you're joining all of these different groups, you're doing all of these different trainings, but you have these questions, but nobody's talking to you, asking you what questions you have, then that's going to start to lead to some frustration, right? And some like, well, they're just directing me to resources rather than they're helping me, right? So I want you guys to really think about times where maybe you could have asked a different question, or maybe you could have said, hey, how one of my favorite things, you guys, and we'll talk about this in a little bit with feedback, but one of my favorite things, you guys, is asking my agents, how can I better support you? Right? Especially in their first like week or so when I'm just getting to know them, right? And again, I'll kind of dive into this a little bit more. But I'll text them and be like, hey, how is the onboarding going? How can I better support you? How can I better guide you? Right. So that is a really big question. It's very simple, right? But it's a really big question that allows them to share their concerns with me. And then I can figure out where I can step in more, right? So when you're looking at retention, there are 5 pillars that I want you guys to focus on. Okay. Retention is built on these 5 things. If one of them is missing, the whole kind of system feels a little shaky. Things start to fall through the cracks. Agents start going inactive again and again, right? And retention isn't just like, oh, I can change this one thing and I'm retaining all my agents, I'm good to go. It's a bunch of small things that form big feelings, right? Essentially is what it is, right? And it's small, consistent habits that over time will develop the trust and the safety that your agents need to feel in order to come to you and do all of these things, right? So the first one is going to be connection. We need to connect, right? And this is often connection and communication. The first two are often the things that need to happen immediately, okay? Immediately. So connection, communication, leadership style. This is going to be different for every single person. Feedback and culture. Okay. These are the 5 things that we need in order to maintain our retention. Okay. Now let's talk about connection. we need to get to know our agents, our team, the people we're bringing on, right? Because we're not just bringing them on to like connect them to the resources and be like, all right, great. No, we're supposed to be helping them, right? You're supposed to be mentoring them, guiding them. These people are overwhelmed. They're probably scared. They're nervous. They're feeling all of these different things. You have to connect with them, okay? You have to get to know them. You have to understand why they're here, okay? I love to connect with my agents in their first couple of days. Now, I have started in the last, I would say, probably year or so, instead of just sending like a script with the onboarding, right? I've been sending a voice memo instead. So once they enroll, I respond with a voice memo and their first steps. That has changed the game for me connection wise because immediately they are seeing I'm a real person. I'm here to help. Okay. They're hearing my voice, all of these different things. So oftentimes they'll send a voice memo back. So then I get to hear their voice, right? And I let them know, like, hey, this is going to be your first step. When you're done with that, then we're going to move on to this. So I let them know that there's a plan and a system there for them. Okay. You also want to schedule some sort of welcome call or a one-on-one week, like their first week. Okay. So what I typically do is, and I know some agents will call them like you can call them within their first 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever. I will typically let them get to like vendor registration. Once they get to and I have them tell me like once you finish the vendor registration, let me know. So that way we can set up a one-on-one to go over your goals for this business, right? And on that call, I want to know why did they join, right? What are they here for? What are their goals for this business? What does success look like for them? What are they most nervous about? Where can I kind of provide the most reassurance for them? And what is their preferred communication? And I let them know my preferred communication as well, which for me is text message, right? If you message me on social media or you email me, it's going to take me a minute to get back to you. But if you text me, I will get back to you almost immediately. Okay. And I let them know that, like, text me, please, please, please text me. If you need to set up a call, we can set up a call, but please text me first. Okay. And I let them know. So you want to set those expectations up for them and also understand where they're coming from too. Okay. This is really going to help agents start to feel supported and confident rather than lost and like overwhelmed. Okay. When you start forming that personal connection with somebody, you start building that relationship, it's going to decrease the chance of them leaving. Okay. Now, the questions in the things that I talk about in the first one-on-one or welcome call, whatever you want to call it, right? They're not really about pressure. Like, I don't want to like sit here and be like, tell me this, tell me that, tell me this, tell me your life story. Like, no, I kind of go with the flow of the conversation, but these are the things that I like to get to know for sure. So that way I can understand how I can better support them as their mentor, right? And I'll share some information about me as well. I'll share a little bit of my background in the industry, what I did before, right? And how I like to tell them that I came in with no experience because that makes people feel a lot better, right? It makes them kind of feel a little bit relieved, especially if they don't have experience. I like to share a little bit about me so they can know that as well. And that builds that trust too, okay? Do you guys have any questions so far? We're good? It's crickets here, so I don't know what's happening. Oh, I don't know if you guys are like, no, no one's camera's on besides Tracy. I'll see you later. We're good? All right. I want to make sure we're like alive over here. It's so quiet. Hi. Are we good? Are you guys alive? What's going on? All right. Right. The voice memos have been a game changer, you guys. Like, seriously. That's probably my favorite thing that I've changed in the last year or so. I mean, okay, Shauna, I'm going to put you on the spot here. So, Shauna is one of my agents. When I sent you the voice memo after you enrolled, how did you feel?
I didn't feel like you were using Jet GPT, which was really comforting.
Good. See?
I didn't, yeah, I didn't feel like it was a script. It was you personally, and that really helped to comfort.
Perfect. Now, that is exactly what we're going for, right? Because we don't want people to feel like we're just sending them scripts or like it's automated or anything like that. We want to form that personal connection. And I can guarantee you, just because I know Shauna and I know her story, I can guarantee you if I would have sent a text message with just the script and the link to the onboarding and left it at that, even if I did all of my other things, but if I would have just left it at that, she would not be here today.
You're
Okay.
absolutely correct.
So those if you guys take nothing away from this, which I really hope you guys do take something away from this, but if you guys take nothing away from this training, take away that. Okay. Thank you, girl. Okay. So let's move on to the next pillar, which is communication, right? We need to be communicating with our agents, okay? When you are quiet and you're not talking to them and you're not reaching out to them, like it's going to create doubt in themselves. It's going to create doubt in you. They're not going to know what to do, okay? Communication is going to help you create confidence. Now, I want to be clear about something. This does not mean you have to be available 24/7 or you have to be talking to them 24/7. But it, like I said in the on the previous slide, set those expectations, okay? I let my agents know, hey, if you text me, I'm most likely going to respond pretty quickly. These are the days that I'm kind of a little bit slower on my responses. So just be prepared for that. Other than that, I'm pretty quick in my responses, at least minimum or maximum about an hour, 2 hours that it'll take me to get back to you most of the time. Okay. So set those expectations, let them know where they can connect, where they can ask questions, how they can stay informed, all of those different things. Okay. Have some sort of communication within your whole team. Now, if you guys, oh, I just hit my knee. If you guys only have like one agent, right, then you just text them, right? Once you get like three agents, I would start like a group chat. Now, I would do it on a platform where you can add agents to like add people to it without having to create a new one. So, Facebook Messenger is my favorite one. You guys can also use like Discord or whatever else you guys want to use. But Facebook Messenger is my favorite one. When your team starts growing and you start getting more members and your agents are bringing on agents, eventually maybe you guys can do some sort of like Facebook group, right? Or you guys can do Discord. They have different things on there too, right? But you want to have some sort of like place for agents to go. Now we do have our TK group, which obviously you guys are all known, you guys are all a part of. But you guys also want to have something just for your agents so they have that sense of connection within themselves as well. And you guys can build that camaraderie and that team culture, okay? This is where they should be able to ask questions, right? Resources should be easy to access, you guys, very easy. For example, in my team Facebook group, I put a little screenshot of it right there. But in my team's Facebook group, we have our featured section, which has all of our important posts on there. We have our guides with trainings, right? And in the description of the Facebook group, like in the about section, I have instructions on how to utilize the group. When I'm inviting people to the group, right, I'm sharing that link with them. I'm also sending a voice memo explaining to them how to use the group. Okay. So I'm being very clear with what that looks like, how it works, and how they can utilize it to benefit them. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on communications? Anything like that before we move on to the next pillar? No, we're good? Okay. Leadership style. Now, this is where it starts to get fun, right? Because you get to start creating your own style, figuring out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. What kind of leader do you want to be, right? My favorite question that I asked myself, and I learned this from our one star double platinum FC member, Miss Krista Wiley. I think it was like my first year or my first year and a half as an agent. She did a training on like what it takes to be I think it was like called what it takes to be a mentor or what it takes to be a leader. I don't remember the exact title of it. Um, but she did a training and this is where I got a lot of these ideas from and also this specific slide. Um, but she said, how do you want your team to feel about you? Right? That was something I sat with when I was figuring out the type of leader I want to be. I sat there and I wrote it out. I was like, how do I want my agents to feel about me? What do I want them to say about me? If someone were to ask them, how is Halia as a mentor to you? What would I want them to say? How would I want them to feel? Right. And I wrote that out. And then I designed my leadership around how I want my agents to feel. Now, am I perfect? Do they all feel like that all of the time? Absolutely not. I am a human being. I make mistakes as well. I forget things all the freaking time. Things fall through the crack, right? But I can guarantee you my agents know that if they text me, I will be there for them, right? They know that they have their resources, their support that they can go to. If I'm not available, they know that I will let them know that I'm not available and I will direct them to talk to somebody who is available, right? They know what to expect when it comes to me. And that is something that I will forever be proud of, okay? Now, do you guys want to be a hands-on leader or a hands-off leader? I feel like I'm kind of a mix of both. I feel like I'm in the beginning, I'm kind of a hands-on leader, and then I start to take my hands off a little bit and let you guys kind of grow on your own, but then sometimes I'll pull my hands back in real quick and then I'll come back, right? Like I kind of take a mix of both. Are you guys going to be super structured? Are you guys going to be a little bit more flexible? I think I'm very structured. I don't know, Shauna, what do you think? Do you think I'm structured or flexible? I think I'm very structured.
Structured, you're full of structure.
Yeah, very structured. I'm a
Okay.
very type A
It
type of person, so
oh
very
yeah.
structured. Are you going to be a coach or a motivator? I feel like I'm a little bit of both, right? I feel like a good leader is going to kind of be a mix of all of these things, right? Or at least set themselves up to be a mix of all of these things, okay? But you guys want to sit there and I want you guys to think about what type of leader you want to be. How do you want your team to feel about you, right? What do you want them to say about you? And then that is how you're going to show up for your team. Even if one day you're not able to show up at 100%, you're able to show up at 50%, your team knows that, okay, today she needs a little time, tomorrow she'll be great, right? It doesn't matter how it's not needing to be perfect and 100% all the time, right? But it's being consistent in who you decide to be, okay? And it's definitely not about copying anybody, okay? You want to be yourself. You can take things from other leaders and other agents, but be yourself. Make them work with you. Your consistency, your energy, and your integrity matter way more than you probably think they do. Even if you only have one agent, even if you don't have any agents, right? These people are going to watch how you show up, especially even if you don't have any agents, you guys, these prospects that you guys are connecting with on social media are going to watch how you show up on social media. They're going to watch you. One thing that Sarah always says is that prospects are constantly sizing you up, right? They're sizing you up on social media, seeing, is this somebody I want to work with? Is this somebody that can help me get to my goals, right? So you need to consistently be showing up, right? Keep that same energy. Make sure you're moving with integrity, okay? Your leadership style is going to set the emotional tone and the culture for the entire team. Now, I do have a couple of things that, you guys should probably avoid. Just again, learning from experience. These are very common mistakes. I have made all of them, I think. If not all of them, 99% of them, okay? And most leaders have done at least one of these at some point in their journey, right? Like I said earlier, the goal is never going to be perfection. We're human beings. That's not something that's realistic. But the more you can avoid these, the more your leadership is going to improve, which is going to improve your retention. Okay. So you don't want to overpromise anything in the beginning. Like, I can make sure you make $1,000 in your first week. We can't make sure of anything. All right. We cannot control somebody else's actions. We can show them what to do. We cannot control their actions. All right. You definitely don't want to enroll agents and disappear. And again, these are things I've done. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I'm going to be completely honest. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I'll be going through my back office and I'll be like, who the heck is this person? I don't even recognize their name. Right. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like that's happened to me before. There are things that I put in place now to make sure that doesn't happen to me, but that's happened to me before. Right. So now something I do when somebody enrolls, I have my little planner right here. I don't know how well you guys can see it. This is last week, but that's what I picked it up at. This is last week, but I have my little planner right here. And it had this built-in like habit tracker. And instead I changed it. Now you guys can tell I have not done a very good job at keeping up with my planner the last couple of weeks. We're gonna move on from that, okay? But it has a habit tracker, okay? So I decided to change this into an enrollment tracker because I noticed that I was kind of getting all over the place. I think it was like last year that I did this in my previous planner, and I just continued doing it. But I was kind of getting all over the place last year at some point in time. And I was like, I need to start keeping track of who I'm enrolling and what days I'm enrolling them. So I changed it, like I said, to enrollment tracker. I have a little key here based off of whether it's my enrollment, my agent's enrollment, or a reinstatement. And I would just check off. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's little like dots here, right? I would just check off or do like a little star or heart, depending on which one it was. And I would track my enrollments, right? And then every day I would look at this and I still do this, right? Every day I look at this and I see, okay, who enrolled, I kind of organize it based off of where they are in my team. And I'll then go in, I'll be like, okay, after 2 days, let me go check in with the people who enrolled this day, right? 2 days, the people who enrolled this day. So there are things you guys can come up with, things you guys can do to help you stay on top of things. This is a Bloom planner. I got it on Amazon. It's Bloom. If you type in Bloom planners on Amazon, I'm sure it'll pop up. Um, Being unclear, inconsistent. Again, these are things that I have done as well. Like sometimes I feel like sometimes I wasn't very clear, especially in the beginning with how I was explaining things. I was inconsistent with myself. Micromanaging instead of mentoring. That one is something that has been a little bit hard for me as I'm growing other leaders, right? I'm like, well, and Tracy, I'm sure can vouch for this, especially when she joined. I'm like, I want things done a certain way, right? Or I do things a certain way, and I'm teaching other people how to do these things, and I'm trying to let go of some stuff a little bit and let them do it and grow and stuff like that. And that's a little hard for me sometimes, right? That's something that I'm very type A, and not everybody is very type A. So these are things that like you're going to experience as you're growing, right? Avoid feedback. You guys, feedback is not the enemy, okay? It is such an amazing tool as a leader. And feedback is mostly where us as leaders have to take our ego out of things, right? We have to remove our pride and our ego and listen to what our agents say in order to improve our leadership, okay? And with improved leadership comes improved retention. And then focusing on numbers instead of overall culture. And I feel like this goes hand in hand with enrolling agents and disappearing. Okay. Now let's talk about feedback. This is one of my favorite things to do. Okay. Feedback is never going to make you weak. Okay. It's never going to make you seem like you don't know what you're doing. It's always, always, always going to help your agents feel heard, help them feel seen, and it's going to help you see the blind spots in your leadership. And it's going to show your team that their experience, their feelings matter. Okay. Feedback is always going to strengthen you as a leader and strengthen your team. When people feel heard, they are going to be more invested. Okay. It's going to build their trust. It's going to strengthen your relationship with them. And it's going to prevent small issues that something maybe just like bothering them surface level, but it's going to prevent that from festering and becoming a reason why somebody leaves. Okay. With feedback specifically, one thing I like to do, and Shauna, since you're here, you're getting put on the spot a lot. But one thing I like to do is send out like Google forms and ask for people like to fill them out, right? So I just sent one out like last month. I think last month it was. Um, Asking about feedback. Where can I support you more? Is there anything that you feel like you need more help with? I don't remember the exact wording I used. I think that one was more team building focused. Um, but we talked about it, right? And then I used what my agents told me and started implementing more things. I did that a few months ago as well. I sent out another form, right? And I asked people to submit their thoughts, their feelings, things like that. Okay. I'll literally have ChatGPT, you guys. I'll go into chat and be like, help me create a form asking for feedback from my agents on how I can improve my leadership. And it'll help me create a form, super simple. I then can use that form, go in and be like, okay, help me apply these things to what I'm already doing, right? It's super simple, does not need to be something that is complicated. And it definitely does not need to be something that we're taking personally, right? Because this is just to help us improve our team, our experience, and their experience, okay? And lastly, culture. Now, we have our culture in TK, we have our culture in the company. Each team is also going to have their own individual culture, and that starts with you. Again, this goes back to how do you want your team to feel about you, right? When you're not around, what do you want your team to say? How do you want your team to talk to you? How do you want your team to talk to each other, right? It is how people feel about being around this company, right? Being around you, how you can help them, all of these different things, okay? A lot of things that help with culture are going to be team meetings. I do monthly team meetings and I'll do like raffles and incentives. I love, 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 love to celebrate people. One thing that has kind of like hit me when I first started that has stuck with me ever since is founder likes to say all the time, we are celebrated, not tolerated, right? And a lot of people have not been celebrated since like they walked the stage at their graduation or since they had like, who knows, maybe a birthday party, or some people have never been celebrated ever. So it may seem like a small little thing, right? But it can have a huge impact on your agents, okay? I love, love, love to celebrate bookings, team building, first inquiries, anything and everything. All right. If my agents come to me, they're like, I did this. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. And I'll post a little thing about it. Okay. I love to also recognize effort. Like I'll tell my agents, I see you doing XYZ. I'll screenshot their posts that I see. And again, Shauna can attest to this. I'll screenshot their posts that I see. And I'm like, this is amazing. I love it. And I'll send it to them, right? I'm showing them that I see them and I see their effort, right? And it's going to help them feel like they are making that progress, even if the results aren't trickling in just yet, right? They're learning, they're doing all of these things. You want to ask yourself, like I said, what is your culture like? Are you going to be supportive? Is your team supportive of each other? Are they kind of quiet? Are your agents collaborating together or are they competitive? Sometimes a little bit of competitiveness is healthy, right? Sometimes it's going to get the ball rolling with things. Are your is your team focused more on education or are they a little bit overwhelmed, right? Is there too much or is there not enough, right? Are you guys welcoming or do people feel a little intimidated? Like when people come into your chat or your group, are they like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Or are they like, oh, this is cool. Like everybody was really happy to see me. Everybody was really happy to talk to me, really happy that I was there. Like, what are they feeling? Okay. And you guys, it's not about control, right? We're not trying to control how people feel or what people do. We can never do that. Okay. We're never going to be, like I said, fully like able to stop people from being inactive. Okay. I'm sure there's probably a better way to say that, but we're never going to be able to fully stop people from being inactive, right? It's never going to be 100% perfect, but we can improve it, right? And we need our agents to feel like they have a clear structure, that they are supported, and they have a sense of belonging, okay? That sense of belonging, I will let you guys know, is what has kept me here for 4 years. Even on the days where I was like crying in the corner because I was so frustrated or I was going through it or whatever the case may be, I have actually never said this out loud, but I have never once thought, oh, I'm gonna quit today. I'm gonna leave. I'm just kind of over it. I've never once thought that. And the only reason I've never thought that is because I knew I belonged here, because I had that sense of belonging, right? I have that community, that support here. That is the thing that has kept me the last 4 years, even on the hard days. Okay. That is what's going to take you guys with your team. That's what's going to take you guys far. Now, I have a little bit of homework for you guys. Um, an action plan to be able to start in the next week, right? What you can implement. That's pretty simple, right? But when you guys continue, when you do them consistently, your retention is going to increase, okay? So, like I said, welcome call within the first 48 hours or like a one-on-one within the first couple of days. Create a team chat or engage in your team chat if you have more than one agent. Even if you only have two agents, they can still collaborate and communicate with each other as well, right? Ask your agents for feedback. I put one on here, but I really just ask your agents for feedback. If you're going to ask, if you have more than one, ask them all. Okay. and recognize at least one of your agents wins publicly, even if it's something as small as they created their first social media account, or they posted their first thing on social media, or they went and they dropped off business cards somewhere. It doesn't matter how big or small it is, recognize it. Okay. Retention is going to be a leadership skill, right? It's something you guys can learn. It's something you guys can work on. It's something you can improve. It's not something that you just wake up and have. All right. It takes work, it takes effort, and it takes consistent work and effort. Okay. But when your agents feel valued, supported, they feel like they belong, right? They have that connection and the community, they are going to stay. Your retention is going to increase. Do you guys have any questions? Any concerns, comments? Feel free to drop them in the chat. Nothing?
I was gonna say something now I forgot. I blasted. I mean, I am feeling like, I mean, I'm only 4 months in, and I have I know this is where I belong. As overwhelming, as frustrating, as lost and frustrated I can get, this is where I belong. This is where I need to be.
Yeah, I agree.
And I fully, oh, in my soul feel it. I'm not going anywhere.
I agree. And that, you guys, like I said, the reason I'm still here to this day, 4 years later, is because I knew I belonged here because of the culture that we have. And I'm not gonna cry, okay? So we're gonna keep on moving with the move on. We're gonna keep on going, okay? Otherwise,
I
I
can
will
help.
cry.
I can help with the tears.
No, no, no. No, no, no. We're gonna keep
Malia is a
keep on moving with the
Elliot
move
is a
on.
great mentor. She
But
has been absolutely awesome. Stubborn and will kick your butt if you're not moving, but she's awesome.
thank you. Love you. But seriously, like I hear people talk about all the time, like, oh, I've had even like leadership, like I've had those moments where everybody has their moment where they want to quit or they want to, they don't feel like they're cut out for this. And let me actually stop so I can see all of you guys. They're like, well, this just isn't working for me anymore. And every time they say that, I'm like, that thought has never crossed my mind. Not once. And because of the culture that we have, because of the relationships that I've built, because of the support that we have here, and because I knew I belonged, right? And that was built through these types of things. So I feel like retention is something I'm very, very passionate about. These things that we talked about today is something I really love. And I feel like it's truly the game changer and the big difference in having a small team and really growing it. So
Well,
that's
I'm
my
going to admit that within 10 days, I contacted you and say that I don't want to do this.
yes.
And you asked me point blank, what is it? What's going through your mind? And I told you I was feeling very overwhelmed. There's a lot of information. And then you told me, then slow down.
Yeah,
One step at a time. You can do this. And you put that faith and that confidence. And I'm still here.
I love you.
Yeah. I love
Okay.
you too.
I am going to, and you guys are gonna do this with me. We're gonna take a picture and then I'm gonna do like a quick little video. So anybody who wants to turn their camera on, that would be great. And when you do, just like wave when I say go for it, okay? We're gonna do the picture first and then we'll do the video. All right. And I'm gonna try not to, my freaking countertop where I work is a mess right now. So I'm gonna take a second to like get the right angle so that way it doesn't show the whole mess in the background. Okay. So just give me like I think if we do that. Okay. Ready? Oh, can't bring it up too high. Okay, ready? We're gonna take the picture first, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're gonna do the video. And so I'm just gonna kind of pan over you guys, and you guys can just wave, okay? And I'll count down too. So whenever I post it on my story or wherever I do it, I'm gonna like mute it so no one hears me counting down. Okay, so we're good. All right, ready? Oh my God, I need to like not get all of this stuff. We're gonna go from the bottom then. 1, 2, 3. You guys wave. Okay, wait, I'm gonna do that again. Okay. On three, you guys are gonna wave. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I love it. You guys are so cute. Okay. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. I'm gonna get this recording up, post. Oh God, here comes my dog. Post it into the Travel Knowledge Facebook group. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the live or drop them in the recording of this training, and I'll be in those comments checking them, okay? Hope you guys have a great night. Bye, everybody.